It shouldn't be this push and pull. Tell me to leave, won't let me go. You'll never say you're wrong whenever you're this far gone. We're so close but so alone. There ain't a conversation that don't end up in me losing all my patience, and you always running. Ain't nothing left for saving. Let's make this leaving count. Let's make this leaving count. Damn, burn it all down. Touch this hollow ground till there's nothing left to come back from. Call it what it was. Whatever it was wasn't love. Blow it all up until it's ash and dust. Cause we're just no good for us. Cause we're just no good for us. This ain't water under the bridge. Let's make this gone as it gets. Go ahead and hate me, make me out to be the one that's going crazy, only cause you made me. Let's burn it all down, touch this hollow ground till there's nothing left to come back from. Call it what it was. Whatever it was wasn't love. Blow it all up until it's ash and dust. Cause we're just no good for us. Cause we're just no good for us. I'm losing all my patience. Was it all for nothing? Ain't nothing left for saving. Let's burn it all down. Search this hollow ground till there's nothing left to come back from. Call it what it was. Whatever it was wasn't love. Blow it all up until it's ash and dust. Cause we're just no good for us. Cause we're just no good for us.
Hey, what's up, Hey, something to talk about. Aussie, I was just thinking about you. Amber, Jiggy, Sly, first one here. Headstones, I just found him recently. I was like, I kind of like this guy. So the opening song was a guy named Chase Wright, I think so. Yeah, Chase Wright. Aussie, it's funny though that you came in here because I'm going to talk about my psychic abilities and my intuition recently. Hey, Criminal Med. And a lot of people that I keep thinking about pop up out of nowhere. And I'm going to tell you why this even means anything today. It's been a long weekend, I'll tell you that much. I bought a dress for Sage's wedding. I did not expect to buy one this early, but it was one of those intuition things, and I'll explain that in a minute. But yesterday, as you saw on my community post, the dogs were fighting. Buka and Karma got into it heavily. I'm trying to break them up. My hand fucking went in between Buka's mouth. So I got bit, blood squirted everywhere. Karma was fine for a couple of hours, And then all of a sudden, Dayton comes home from work and Karma can't walk. Called the vet. The vet said, you know, what does it look like? It turns out that it is swollen. She can't walk on it. Vet said absolutely doesn't think it's broken. She wasn't whining or crying or anything. But she's my little gimpy. She's just gimping around. But she really can't put weight on it. And it's swollen, but it's not broken. Thank God. So, yeah. So that was my day yesterday. And I kind of didn't want to leave her side. Today I had to, but so me, Sage went over a friend's house. We went swimming, and for some reason, oh, it's worse today. But it's not broken. I mean, my hand's better, but it's not broken. But she's having a hard time with it. But she's not whining or crying or anything. She's just gimping around, and she's laying in bed, and she's following me a few places, but. It's kind of nice to have her mellow. I like when she's mellow. So we're at the pool, and I'm talking to Sage, I'm talking to my friends, and all of a sudden I have this idea to go look for a dress. Now, mind you, I don't even have a bra on. All I have is a bathing suit on, you know, and clothes over it. What possessed me to go to the mall and find a dress? What on earth possessed me to think I was going to find a dress today? I didn't even want to start looking till like September because I knew I was going to lose more weight. So something in me said go. Okay. So I go to the mall and I knew where I was going. And I go to Dillard's. And I'm looking around. They have like standard, you know, dresses. And I tried on a couple things. And then I'm looking through this rack. And this dress pops out at me. I'm like, this is really nice. And it's heavy and it's all beaded. And it doesn't have any of that like fake shit on it. It looks like a really good dress. There's no price tag on it. I'm like, here we go. So I try it on. Now, mind you, again, I have a bathing suit on. I don't even have a fucking bra on. And I was like, this is it. And then I'm like, this is going to be like an $800 dress. I know it is, if not more. So I bring it to the front and I said, how much is this? She tells me the price. I'm like, no way. She's like, yes way. She's like, it's a return. I said, what do you mean? She's like, it was still in the box. Somebody ordered it from Nordstrom's online. And I guess, I don't know if Nordstrom's and Dillard's are owned by the same people, but they seem to be interactive. So somebody ordered it. I guess it came in. It was size 8, and she didn't want it. Okay. So then they sell it at a discount. I did not know that. But I was like, there's no way I can pass this up. There's just no way. And I showed Sage. Sage is like, I don't know. So she's like, I'd have to see it with a bra on. I said, Sage, you just have to trust me on this. This is my dress. So I buy it. Get home. Put it on with a bra. And Sage is like, oh my God, Mom, it's beautiful. I said, I told you. So I am super excited. So I'll show you guys the dress. Hold on. I'm not going to show you the one with me in it because I had no makeup on. My hair was pulled back. So that's going to be a no. But I'll show you the dress. Hang on. Hey, Amy. Boop. Bear with me. That's how to do the whole thing. No, I only sent her. Oh, I know where to get it from. Hold on. Oh, wait. You know what? I'm not on StreamYards. I could show you from Discord. Hold on. Oh. All right. Now it's 100% all beaded and sparkly. Oh, hold on. And I'm really excited about it. Whoop. Oh my god, it still won't fucking work. Holy fuck. What is up with Discord and this like secret shit? This is so stupid. Hold on. I don't understand Discord. It's black and silver. Hold on. Hang on a minute. I gotta do this ass backwards. I gotta send it to myself on Facebook. Because it's retarded. All right. All right. Here we go. How beautiful is that? And it was just one of those things, I just had to get it. I was like, that's it. That's the dress. I found my dress. It's heavy, it's sparkly, and I love it. And the sleeves are like so me. So that is my dress for Sage's wedding. Mama the bride. It is all beaded. That's what I'm saying. It's beaded from head to toe. It is so pretty. And it's so heavy. Like, it's not so heavy, but it's heavy enough that you can feel all the beads. And let's just say I got a hell of a deal on it. And that's why I couldn't pass it up. So that's my dress. Like my mom said, if I lose too much weight and I drop down to a 6, which I highly doubt, we can always, take it in a little, but I think it's going to be fine. But I am so happy with it. And it was just one of those things like, what the fuck possessed me to go to the mall from a pool and look for a dress? And it's just this fucking instinct that I've had lately. I really wish my instincts would give me like the winning lotto numbers. That would be nice, but I haven't gotten those instincts yet. Hey, sweetie pie, but I haven't gotten those instincts yet. But the last week and a half, all I keep getting are these gut instincts to do something. And today was the same thing. This gut instinct to do something. And like I said, I've never gone to the mall right out of a pool, but something in my gut told me to go. Just told me to go. And sure enough, it was the perfect jet. And I even said to her, do you have any more of these? She's like, no, it's the only one. She's like, that's why it's at a discount, because we don't have any more. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll take it. So yeah. So today was a good day after a bad day. But that's what I'm saying, Whistle Down. Something is going on with me. I just hope I get winning lotto numbers and then I go with that instinct. That would be fucking amazing. But somehow I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm telling you, I've had this super weird thing lately. I will think of somebody and all of a sudden they'll pop up somewhere. It's very weird. Yeah, the bridal shower is next month. It's just very weird. But like, I'll think of someone that I haven't thought about in a while and boom, there they are. It's strange. All right, so moving on. Yeah, the bridal shower is next month. And I'm doing the favors and trying to do centerpieces for the wedding. I got an idea. Sage is like, Mom, I just can't picture it. I said, don't worry. Just don't worry. I got this. I said, I'm going to go live and then I'm going to show you when it's completed. She's like, okay. So, all right. So let's move on. Before I get into Brittney stuff, I just want to say, last night in my, doggy daycare, I watched the Kohlberger on, the Kohlberger thing on Amazon Prime. Now, if any Patreons have not seen it or can't see it or can't get it, let me know. I can upload it on Patreon. So just let me know if you can't get it or if there's any Patreons that want it. Even though, like, free Patreons. Because I don't know. Is Amazon free in other places? I didn't watch it on Amazon. I watched it on my bootleg channel. Hey, Miss B. I watched it on my bootleg channel. So I'm not even sure if, like, it's Amazon you got to pay for. But regardless, it was so good. Way better than I thought it was going to be. Every episode was excellent. And I have a newfound respect for the Chapins. And I'm glad that Betty and everybody else only care about Steve, because I love the Chapins. What a classy family. What class. People who have lost a child should take a page out of their book. What an amazing family, amazing parents, just amazing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they are the exact opposite of Steve, and they're so much happier in life. I don't know if that makes sense. And I don't know if I can explain what I'm thinking properly in words, but I'm going to try. I know I'm getting to that criminal med. They just exude class. They exude honesty. As horrible and as awful as this was, they weren't going to let it stop their kids, because they still had 2 other kids. And at the end of the series, she said something that hit home with me, and that was, as hard as this is for her, it's even harder for the triplets. And I was like, she's 100% right. And I was saying that originally, like, when you're a parent of multiples, or you are a multiple yourself, that's a bond that most people cannot understand. I will never understand Phoenix and Sage's bond, and they came out of my body. But twins and even triplets share a bond that a brother and sister can't understand. And as being a mother of twins, I know what she was talking about. But the class and everything that her and a husband, and how, the kids were afraid to go back to Idaho, and they told them, no, you have to go back. You have to graduate, and they taught their kids that life goes on. And it's horrible that Ethan's gone, but you can't stop your life. And it was just everything that they stand for, everything they are, it was just dignity and class and integrity. I was like, I knew I liked them. I didn't know I would like them this much. Well, Ethan, he was killed in, one of the triplets was killed in the Idaho 4. And, oh, you're a twin too? And to see him, the husband and the wife, their interaction, the way they speak to each other. And, one of the things they said, which I've heard before, is that some of the highest rates of divorce happen when you lose a child. I don't know if I understand the psychology behind that, because wouldn't you want to stay together? But that was the one thing that the wife had said, that, the divorce rate is so high when you are, when you lose a child. And we decided we were going to beat those odds. We were going to stay together. We were going to support each other and support our family. And it just, they are such polar opposites from the Gonsalves. And the Gonsalves, they need to take a page out of their book. And the fact that Betty and so many of these low-life trash people want nothing to do with the Chapins tells me I made the right decision. And my thinking is good when it's totally a polar opposite from all these fucking lowlifes on YouTube. But what an amazing family. And like I said, anybody that lost a child who's angry should take a page from them. They said they weren't even going to go to the trial because what's the point? What's the point? It's not going to make Ethan come back. They moved on. They have grieved and they've moved on. And what a wonderful, happy place to be. The father was saying that, they didn't know where they were going to bury Ethan, and they decided keep him in the basement. And, he can go down and talk to him every single day. And that's why he's in the basement. Obviously they had him cremated. But it was just, they're not angry. They're not hurt. Obviously they're hurt. They lost their son. But they didn't let it stop them. They just don't harbor anger. And they don't harbor anger at Brian. What he did was horrendous and horrible. But they weren't going to and I don't remember if this was said or just the way I took it. But they've already taken something so powerful from them. That was their son. They weren't going to let him take anything else. And they certainly weren't going to let him take another day from them. And it was just so beautiful. And like I said, hopefully I never ever know what it's like to lose a child. But, even harboring anger towards another person, harboring anger on anywhere, for what? Where does it get you? Absolutely nowhere. And, the triplets, instead of explaining that they're actually triplets and one was murdered, they just now say they're twins. Which to me, that's a little weird. But I understand. If that's what they needed to get through this, then so be it. But because they're not harboring anger, and because they're not harboring hate, and because they don't live every single day with, I'm going to get you and we need justice and all this other stuff, the kids are very successful. They graduated from college, they're successful, they are just genuinely happy people. So if you haven't seen this series, I would highly recommend it. And at first I'm like, I even said to Sly yesterday, I said, do I really want to watch it? I'm like, is there any new information? She's like, no, but it's told differently. And what I liked about it is they weren't trying to give you new information. They weren't trying to sell you this story that everybody knows, or how bad Brian was, or this and that. But what they did do is they told you from really the point of the Chapins. I wasn't physically watching it. I was just listening while I was doing other stuff. So they stuck out to me. They may have interviewed other people, other parents, but they're the ones that stuck out to me. The only thing that bothered me about it, and unless you have an autistic child, you would not understand this. The only thing that bothered me is Brian has been established, I believe, by the courts in where he is, that he has autism. He was a genius, according to family, according to friends or people that knew him. But he was autistic, Asperger's, whatever. And everyone kept referring to him as creepy. Okay, Brian Kohlberger might be a psychopath, but I really wish people would stop referring to him as creepy, because then you're referring to every autistic kid, every Asperger's kid as creepy. And they don't want to be known as creepy because they're not creepy. Now, Brian is a psychopath and a murderer and completely different than, your regular autistic kid or Asperger's kid. But that's all you kept hearing over and over and over, was how Brian was creepy. Brian wasn't creepy. He just had Asperger's. And that could make someone think that they're creepy. So that's the only thing that kept getting on my nerves. But then it kind of stopped. But every time someone met, Brian, it would say how creepy he was. Well, they say that about a lot of autistic kids. And that's just what's the word? A label that you don't want to hear when it comes to autism. And if he didn't kill anyone and he had Asperger's or autism, then that calling him creepy would be completely a no-no. So I prefer he's just a psychopath, plain and simple. He's just psychopath. No, the people that were talking to him, Criminal Med, talking about him, were talking more about his autism, that he was a genius and that he kept to himself, and just a lot of autistic traits that he definitely, had autism. I really believe that. That wasn't something that someone made up. So that's where everything is like, just the only thing that bothered me. Like I said, if he wasn't a murderer, then that would be a big no-no, to call someone with autism or Asperger's a, they were creepy. Yeah, that's a word that many people with Asperger's suffer from, that people call them creepy. Or people say, you're weird, you're creepy, you're to yourself. He gave me the creeps. He came too close to my bubble. Just a lot of things. So that's the only thing that bothered me. Brian Kohlberger is a psychopath, in my opinion. His creepiness wasn't from being a psycho. In my opinion, his creepiness was his Asperger's. After watching it, I also believe, and this is just a personal opinion, I really think that he did all this just because he wanted to know what it was like. Not that he really thought it through, but he was so obsessed with murders and serial paths and psychopaths that he wanted to find out what it was like. And that's why he did it. Plain and simple. Just a personal opinion. Yes, but I'm saying the things that, all right, let me rephrase that. The things that they were saying made him creepy were standard Asperger's or standard high functioning autistic traits. That's why it bothered me. It's not like they said he was creepy because he talked about murdering people. That wouldn't have anything to do with Asperger's or autism. But a lot of the things that they were saying he was creepy about were like the way he studied, the way his intelligence level. It pointed towards his autistic traits, not him being a psychopath, if that makes sense. But that's what I'm saying. Hindsight's 2020. We think he's evil because we know that he murdered 4 people. That's why we think he's evil, or not think. We know he's evil because of that. And he did it with malice for no fucking reason. That's the evil part. But when his coworkers, his former, co-students, people he went to school with, they weren't describing an evil part of him. They were describing his autistic traits. Creepy, he was a loner, he didn't really interact well with people, he didn't come across, he didn't have social skills, that kind of stuff. That's autistic traits. Yeah, not understanding social cues. That's all Asperger's. Asperger's is all about social cues. That's what I'm trying to say. If they would have said, like, Brian sat there with a knife and talked about how great it would be to, shave a monkey's balls off, that's creepy in a evil sense. That, or like, how great would it be to skin open the teacher? That's creepy in an evil psychopathic sense. But that's not how they described him. They just described him as creepy with social issues. Creepy because he stayed to himself. Creepy because, like, all autistic traits. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, we all know he's evil because of hindsight. But at the time that this girl went to school with him, he wasn't evil. He wasn't a psychopath. Or she didn't know he was a psychopath. But not one of them that described him as creepy gave anything other than an autistic trait. So that's why I said people that have kids on the spectrum will know exactly what I mean. And those that don't probably won't totally understand. So, just my opinion. So again, I would highly recommend watching it. It was excellent. Excellent. Now, moving forward. Brittney J. Hopefully you'll come in here and hopefully you will listen. I have discussed this multiple times, even from my own head, many years ago. So Brittney started, I don't know if it's a GoFundMe or a Go, whatever that's called. But she's raising money for an attorney. Brittney, unfortunately, you're wasting your client's money, your sub's money. And I'm going to explain why in detail. And I tried telling you this initially, and you weren't really looking at chat. Hey, Erica. And you weren't really looking at chat. And by the way, guys, hit the thumbs up. I know I'm like rambling, but make sure you hit the thumbs up. And make sure you join memberships, because YouTube wants us pushing memberships. So make sure you join memberships. We need lots of members. There's a goal super chat. I couldn't think of anything, so I just said I'll do a real live stream. And on the bottom, you'll see Cash App, PayPal, and everything else. Feel free to donate. We need money, so feel free. All right, let me get back to this. I'm just doing what everyone else does. Kind of a joke. All right, but here we are. So many years ago, I thought the same thing. Hey, Janessa. I thought the same. I'm going to sue these motherfuckers. I'm going to file defamation against them. I'm going to do whatever I can do. Fuck them. This is bullshit. I'm tired of the videos. I'm tired of the fucking daily. I'm going to go after you, Laura. Laura's so bad. Laura there. Fuck off. Spoke to a lawyer. Lawyer said there ain't a fucking thing you can do. 5 CPS calls later. But after the second call, and I even spoke to an FBI agent, and people are like, that wasn't real FBI. Yeah, it was, asshole. I had an issue with somebody making a murderer, and someone told me to write the FBI, so I did. I don't live in a big city, so there's like very few FBI agents, but this one, I met with them at the police station. This guy threatened my life. This was back in 2018, I believe. This guy threatened my life. They took it seriously, and they went and knocked on his door. He was in another city, in another state, but they got involved. But this guy gave me his phone number. If you ever have any issues, especially on YouTube, let me know. We will handle it. Okay? About, I want to say a year and a half later, somewhere between 2019, 2020, somebody actually called the FBI on me. He contacted me, told me somebody called. He knew who I was from this other incident. He knew I was a YouTuber. Then, I want to say the following year, I contacted him. It was during COVID, so it was after call number 2. I contacted him again, or the original call was 2016, not 2018. So when I called him during COVID, I said, this is bullshit. What can I do? He wrote me back a letter and basically telling me there's not a damn thing I can do. Okay. People are like, oh, he spelled something wrong. It must be fake. No, he was a real fucking FBI agent. And he was not like my friend. So, going back to my original thought, I got a little sidetracked. The second you engage, you have no case. Even if you want to stick up for yourself, you have no case. I tried telling Sinner this when he screams how he's going to go after Queen Bee for defamation. He doesn't have a chance in hell. I doubt he would even get an attorney because he engages. Defamation means you lose money. You have to lose. It's a monetary thing. Truth and transparency and Unsolved, whatever her name was, Vanessa, I can't think of the channel name. They were in court. Vanessa ignored her. No matter what the fuck Lana did, Vanessa said nothing. Vanessa went about her business, tried to deal with it as best as she could, let Lana be a crazy bitch, and said nothing in return. So the judge saw this, and Vanessa won. Lana looked like an idiot, and she looked like a stalker. But Vanessa knew she had to keep her mouth shut at any cost. That is something I couldn't do, and that is something you didn't do, Brittney. You get caught up in the he said, she said. You get caught up in the, I'm not lying. I'm not this. You need to get to the point that it doesn't fucking matter what these people think. Queen Bee has stated on numerous occasions it would all stop if Brittney would stop responding. Now, the mentality behind this makes absolutely no fucking sense to me, but you've never called her out on it. You know what? Okay. Queen Bee said it's all gonna stop if I stop. Have you tried it? No. Have you tried not answering these assholes just once? No. Have you tried ignoring her? No. So you wouldn't know if it would stop, because even though they told you straight up it would, you haven't tried. You haven't tried to find out if it would. You care way too much about these assholes, and they are assholes. They're lowlifes, they're felons, and they're just losers. But you seem to care about them way more than they deserve. Way more than they deserve. I mean, think about it. Some of them live with their parents. Others are just miserable. Others live in houses that were given to them. I'm trying to think of anyone in that group. Does any of them even know what like hard work is? No. Does any of them know? I don't know. I don't know how to put this right. But they're not worth it. As I would used to say, they're not worth the corn of my shit. These people aren't worth it. Who cares what they fucking say? Like, literally, who cares? If they defame you, oh well. Go on your live very quickly at the beginning of your live. Say, hey, I just want to address this. And then move on. Address it, put it out there, and move on. And is it easier said than done? Not really, because I do it all the time. And I don't watch those people that still make videos about me. Everyone in Patreon or Discord knows I don't want to know about it. I don't care what they say. It doesn't fucking matter. It just doesn't matter to me. And a lot of people have always had a really hard time believing that I truly don't watch them, but I truly don't. If I did, I would want to respond. So the easiest way is to not watch it. And then you can't respond. But those that are going to believe you are going to believe you, period. Those that don't, won't. And there's nothing you can say that's going to make someone that doesn't believe you, believe you. Okay. Sally. She has lost money. I'm skipping ahead a little. But she has lost money due to her own actions. She cannot prove that she lost money due to their harassment. She can't prove that. She can't prove that her money is down because of their harassment. Unless these people went into court and said, we left because she was being harassed. They're never going to say that. The only thing they would have is, that's the only way they would have. They're going to turn around and say, we left because of Brittney did this, because Brittney did that. They left because of Brittney's actions, not because of someone else. Hey, Captain Kurt, we may think that that's bullshit. We may know that the mods got scared because they were doxxed or whatever. But the reality is, she's not going to get anyone in court to say that. All they're going to say is they left because of Brittney. All these people that say, oh, we got a lawyer and they're going to do it. No, you don't. Stop. You don't. If you did, you still wouldn't be talking about them because your lawyer would have told you, first things first, shut the fuck up. Period. Not, oh, but wait. Because the second you open your mouth, you have no case. You have to shut the fuck up entirely. There's no what ifs. There's no but this. There's no but that. And she didn't get a lawyer without paying him. Logically, Sally, I 100% agree with you. Logically. And YouTube-wise, makes perfect sense, and I'm with you 100%. But that's not the way the law works. The law doesn't give a fuck if someone's making money playing your content. Now, that's the difference between YouTube law and the actual law. The actual law doesn't give a fuck about YouTube. The actual law doesn't give a fuck about any of YouTube rules. The only thing the actual law gives a fuck about is true defamation, true harassment. It's not, because Brittney engages. And again, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying the way they handle it is right, but that's the law. Just like for defamation, there has to be a proven monetary loss based on your, based on ruining your reputation. They haven't ruined Brittney's reputation. I know YouTube angle, yeah, they have. But Brittney has ruined Brittney's reputation by constantly responding, by constantly getting in this battle with them. And again, rightfully so, I agree with what, respond and stick up for yourself. I agree with that logically. And that's how YouTube works. Fuck it. Fuck these people. Fuck them. You're not going to sit there and lie about me. Nobody wants to get lied on. I get it. Totally get it. But that's not what's going to happen. Defamation, anyway, has to have monetary value. There has to be monetary. There is no monetary. She cannot prove that she suffered a loss based on the other channels. She has to be able to prove that. Nick Ricotta lost his channel based on internet trolls. He was able to prove, because he didn't go back at them. He didn't talk about them. He didn't, that's another thing. I'm going to get to that, Skippy. He didn't go back at them. So when they took his channel down, that was straight up fucking harassment. He didn't even know who these people were. I don't know how many of you guys remember Rosie. Rosie put like 4 psychos in jail who were constantly harassing her. And I don't remember the whole story, but they were harassing and she never engaged. She was able to put them away. Brittney doesn't have any of that. And again, I know logically you want to be like, rah, rah, we're going to stop those channels. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Logically speaking, it makes sense. Logically speaking, yes, that's what we want to see done. We want to see Brittney stick up for herself. We want to fucking see shit happen. And we want these, hater channels to fucking go down. But they're not doing anything other than breaking YouTube rules. But Brittney isn't even striking them. She can't even walk into a court and say, look, Your Honor, I tried striking them on X, Y, and Z. I tried this, X, Y, and Z. I said, on April 15th and April 17th and April 20th, and there's a paper trail. She couldn't do that. A court doesn't know what the fuck goes on YouTube. And despite Granny's lies, lawyers are not sitting there watching your YouTube channels. I promise you that. Fucking promise you that. No lawyer is sitting there watching your YouTube channel. They got way better things to do. And if your lawyer is watching the drama on your YouTube channel, you need to find a new fucking attorney. So a judge is the same thing. A judge is not going to sit there and learn about YouTube or know about YouTube. They probably only know YouTube from their, their son, their daughter, their grandkid, whoever. So when you go to a judge to say, they're copying my content and you think a judge gives a fuck? Judge don't give a fuck. Judge would be like, yeah, okay, loser. Get out of my courtroom. This is embarrassing. Kind of like what happened to Betty. Or kind of like what happened in the RICO. Nick and all them were submitting the biggest bunch of garbage out there. Like literally the biggest bunch of trash out there. And it blew up in their face. Because you don't submit that shit to a court. A court is not into your fucking drama. Court doesn't give two shits about your fucking drama. And that's what they kept posting. They kept sending in, barbecue lady said this or granny said, they don't give a fuck. And you would think Betty would have learned the first time, but she didn't. She didn't learn the first time. She didn't learn the second time. And both times she's losing. And you know what? You're an idiot then. If you didn't learn the first time and you're not going to learn the second time, then you know what? You deserve to get fucking burned. So when I see Brittney talk about she's going to get them for defamation, no, you're not. Because they're going to walk into court with attorneys and prove their case. That's a YouTube thing. Copyright infringement, that's a YouTube thing. It's not a copyright if you are doing fair use. It's fair use. And I understand not wanting a strike war, but she has no paper trail. There is absolutely no paper trail for her to go to an attorney and say, hey, X, Y, and Z, I'm an innocent party. I'm an innocent bystander. I'm just sitting up here doing my true crime, and these people are talking about me every day. These people are coming after me every day. I don't speak about them. I fucking ignore them, and I don't engage with them, and they just don't leave me alone. Then you have something to go on. But she doesn't have that. And if she's starting to make a paper trail, then great. That's awesome. But Nonsense has been talking about her for like 2 years already. And now because she wants an attorney, now she's striking? It might be a little too late. Might be. But at least start with a paper trail. At least start by making a paper trail, which is something she has not done. And she's more worried about sitting there night after night saying, oh, that's a lie, or that's a lie, or this is a lie, or that's a lie. Who cares? Who gives a fuck what these people think? Do you think I give a fuck what Clue thinks about me? What Brandy fucking Beer thinks about me? What Queen Bee thinks about me? Who gives a fuck? Like, honestly, who gives a fuck? What concern are they in my life if they lie about me? And Queen Bee has lied about me. And I go on a live and I straighten it out and I say, you're a fucking idiot. This is the truth, not a fucking lie like you made. And it's never talked about again. I don't bring it up. She don't bring it up. It is what it is. And that's happened a bunch of times. So again, I don't make an entire fucking live. And I don't sit there with every fucking troll. I'm the worst person in the world to troll. Because you troll me, you're going to get blocked and deleted. I'm not reading your comment. I'm not reading you out loud. I don't give a fuck what you come in here and say. Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? No, that's not true, Skippy. I do believe they're doing it because they want to help her. They want her to see what's going on. And I get it. But unless somebody is threatening her life or threatening her kids, like literally, like show up at her door, Queen Bee is not getting off her lazy fucking ass and going to Brittney's door. Jay is not getting off her fat lazy ass going to her house. Clue is not getting her fat lazy ass out of Tennessee and deciding to go to Brittney's house. Granny is not getting her ass off the couch, out of a parent's house to go to Brittney's house. Nobody's going to Brittney's house. So her life is not in danger. And that is a realization that she needs to realize. As far as her kids go, they're going to claim, we're not talking about your kids. But as I learned, if you talk about your kids, not that your kids are free game, but if you talk about your kids on the internet, then someone else is going to eventually talk about your kids on the internet. I'm not saying it's right. I believe it's wrong, but it is what it is. It's social media. You are on YouTube. You put yourself out there on YouTube. That means you're free reign for anybody in the world on YouTube. If you are going to continue to be on YouTube, get a stronger self. You have to get to the point, Brittney, that you just don't give a fuck what these lowlifes think. Craig needs to get to a point he doesn't give a fuck what these lowlifes think. Will it get to you sometimes? Absolutely. Will it bother you at times? Absolutely. That's why you have a Discord. That's why you have a friend. That's why you have people you can talk to. It took me a long time to get to that point. So I'm not telling you that, oh yeah, you have to get there overnight. No, it takes time. And it takes a lot of fucking heartache and a lot of anger and a lot of realization that, you know what? I need to end this. If they're not going to end it, then I need to end it. And the only way I can end it is by shutting the fuck up. If I shut the fuck up and they still come after me, that's on them. But the difference is people are going to see that. People are going to see that Brittney's not even engaging. Brittney is not saying a fucking word. Brittney's just going about her business. Kind of like Justin. Justin never engages in the drama. Ever. You can say something about him, he blows it off. That's why Justin's numbers have been completely consistent. People have tried getting under his skin. people have tried to say, and I'm talking about Justice for All, people have tried to say that he's so terrible and he's this and he's a grifter. You know what he says? I don't give a fuck what you think about me. Think whatever you want. I'm going to continue to do my thing my way. And if you don't fucking like it, you don't have to watch me. That's it. Plain and simple. But for some reason, Brittney, you went Betty route. Instead of sticking with Justin and going Justin route, for some weird reason, you went Betty route. And I can assure you, Betty route is not the way to go. Definitely not the way to go. So, if you want to raise, this is just my opinion, but if you want to raise money for a lawyer, I would raise money for a lawyer to get you out of any fucking monetary value of this RICO. That would be money for a lawyer. That would be step number one. Because they did win. They're going to collect money. How much money that is remains to be seen. But they're going to collect money from somebody. Whether the judge makes it equal parts, this is not going to go away. This is not, I don't know who you've been talking to, but this is not something that, I mean, the judge could award $1 if she wants, but I highly doubt she's going to. I think she's going to, I mean, my guess, and it's just a guess, I think she's going to award them each 10 grand. I don't know why I keep thinking 10 grand, but that's what I think. And then you guys can divide it up any way you choose. But that's $20,000 divided between a bunch of you. And considering Granny's lawyer has not been paid yet, and that he's working on the back end, he's going to come after you to collect it. And you can all sit there and say, oh, we have no money and this, but you need a lawyer for that, Brittney. Far more than you need a lawyer for this bullshit. This is YouTube bullshit. That's really what it is. I know it's frustrating, it's aggravating, but at the end of the day, it's nothing but bullshit. It's a bunch of miserable people who have nothing better to do but bully someone else. That's it. That's all they do. And only the strong survive. Your mods that left, the fact that people are, oh, you have a mole. Great, I have a mole. Say hi, mole. Plain and simple. Just say hi, mole. We made a mole room because we had a mole. I literally made a mole room in Discord. Hi, mole. Having fun? She left punitive damages open for the after the BS appeal. Those were not happy with them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. But even with an appeal, who knows? But, and that's another thing. They could lose. But the reason why I don't think they will, Skippy, honestly, they won in court. They won the RICO. They won the right for them to pay their attorney's fees. Will they get punitive damages? No. But by law, by Pennsylvania law, they are entitled to those fees. They are entitled to whatever it costs. There's no getting out of that. That's why I said I have a feeling it's going to be like 10 grand. I don't know why. Barbecue Lady claims she's got $100,000 invested. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But someone's going to pay it. And it's not going to be Barbecue Lady. And that's what Brittney doesn't get. Like, you're putting stock into people like fucking Nick the Hat, who's a felon, Betty, who's a felon, and a complete loser. You know, a con artist. Dog the Bounty Hunter, who probably is as clueless as fucking Lesniak is. And it's just fucking dumb. But you have, like, you have hope in this. No. Take care of one thing at a time first. Worry about this fucking Rico first. Then you might be able to move forward. But honestly, like, even when I tried telling you the other day, and let me just put a disclaimer on this. Everything I'm saying is not out of anger. Everything I'm saying is not because I want to hurt Brittney or hurt her feelings. I know, I've been there. I know her frustration. I am trying to help her. And it may not be coming across like that at times, but I promise you, I am trying to help her. And I don't have to be her best friend to help her. Because I know what this is like. I know the frustration. I know how fucking hard this is. And I know how aggravating this is. And you feel helpless. Like, what the fuck can I do? Why can't I, why can't they just stop? Why can't this just end? Why can't these people be mature and let me move on with my life? I know what it's like. I've thought all those thoughts. But at the end of the day, she can make it stop. Just shut up. Period. And again, I know it sounds easier than applying it, but I do apply it. I saw a video the last night that someone made 3 weeks ago that I didn't even know about. I don't give a fuck. I saw it. I saw my name in the title. I'm like, oh God. Didn't listen. Don't care. That's how you have to be. Honestly. That's going to piss them off even more. The fact that you just ignore them. And that you don't give a fuck what they say. There's still lies that go on about me. I don't care. If people that are going to believe me, and people that don't. I'm not going to sit here and spend my whole life trying to prove something or disprove something. I'm going to tell you the truth, and you can make your own decision from that. And that's where you have to get, Brittney. You constantly want to prove this or prove that, or you're going to, disprove this, or who cares? Did it save your mods from leaving? No. Did it stop anyone from leaving? No. Did it change anything? No. You actually lost more mods. You lost more subscribers, all because you had something to prove. How'd it work out for you? It didn't. So your way is not working. So try it a different way. See if that works. See if it gets you further. Because I guarantee you it will. Because again, then you have a leg to stand on. If not, you don't have a leg to stand on. And as of right now, you don't have a leg to stand on. You have been going back and forth with them for over a year. There has not been a time that you don't go back and forth with them. There hasn't been a time that you don't address their bullshit. You got to stop. They have no meaning in your life. None whatsoever. So it doesn't fucking matter what they think or say. They're just not worth it. And when you realize that, you'll be a lot better off. That I promise. And that, my friends, is my speech. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Hit that thumbs up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, you can sue someone at SSI. They don't give a fuck. If you lose a court case, you lose a court case, period. They don't care where you get the money from. Just like they don't care if you crowdfunded to raise money for an attorney. That's not their problem. The courts are not, after the bullshit that was submitted from Nick and all them and that whole side, and what a stupid fucking job Lesniak did. Judge doesn't care if someone's on SSI. They'll just, give them a smaller percentage. They'll say, oh, okay, so you only make, $800 a month. So 5% of that is, let's say 5% is $7. You'll pay $7 for, X amount of time. It's just the way it is. No, Sally, but that's a YouTube rule. And what I mean by that is, has she filed anything with the copyright? Has she filed anything that's not fair use? There's a whole copyright division that you would hit them. You file a copyright and then you go to court. There's a copyright court. You don't go to regular court over it. It's a copyright court. How do I know? Because I was threatened with it from something that happened during Chris Watts. It happened recently, like a year ago. Creator of a song that I played years ago came after me and I laughed at him. He hit me with a copyright strike. I fought it. He fucking went to the copyright court. Like, no joke. He went to the copyright court and hit me with a fucking, case number. I was like, oh, hell no. And I said, wow, I'm going to have to get an attorney. Like, this guy's not fucking joking. I said, don't worry, dude. I will never fucking put your shit back up. Ever. I've never heard anything since. But yeah, he went and got a court date. That's a copyright. She doesn't need an attorney for that. He didn't have an attorney. He just went and filed, and it cost him money. I think it was like $300 for him to file this copyright against me. And that was it. Jay got sued. Yeah, but Jay got sued by a multi-million-dollar corporation. Jay didn't get sued from Joe Schmo. Jay got sued, and a lot of the reason Jay lost is because she ignored it. She didn't fight it. She totally ignored it. And that's a multi-million-dollar company with lots of money behind them. Lots. You can't compare Jay's lawsuit and Brittney hiring an attorney. Brittney doesn't need an attorney. If she really wants to go after copyright, then she has to go the same route that this guy took. There, no lawyer needed. Because it's not going to regular court. It's going through, there is a special division of YouTube that, it's not even through YouTube, but when they say, like, you have 10 days to take him to court or whatever, there is a whole division of copyright that's connected to YouTube. I always thought, up until this guy threatened me, I always thought that when they say, you have 10 days to take, show us a court number, I assume that they meant like regular court. No. There's this copyright division. Hey, party of one. That any creator, if you truly believe that your copyright has been infringed, then you pay like $200 or $300, and it was set up to make copyright easier. When I got hit with it, I read all about it. The whole point of this division, and it's like governed by the government. It's not like, out of nowhere. It is governed by .gov. And it's set up to make it much easier and much cheaper to file copyright infringements. And first step would be copyright through YouTube. Now, Brittney could have bad luck like me and never get a copyright to go through and then just give up, because that's what I did. I ain't give a fuck anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm not wasting my fucking time. It's such a waste. YouTube does nothing. But then you have other creators that know exactly how to do it. Well, good for them. But a lot of people don't know this. And I've been on YouTube since 2016, and I had no idea this copyright thing existed. Yes, but there's a specific copyright. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can get his email. Because he was mad. He's like, oh, you want me to take you to court? That'll be arranged right now. And within like an hour, he had a court number. I was like, what the fuck? As this motherfucker ain't playing. Hold on. I was like, he seriously is not playing with me. He's like dead serious. Oh, no, not that. All right. Oh. All right. You wanted to go to court to reinstate a video that contained my entire song. We're going now. Do not respond to this email. I do not wish to receive further communication. Blah, blah. I laughed at him. And then all of a sudden he hit me. Oh. What? Where did he send me? I know he sent me a copyright thing. He said, like I said, I've copyright struck 12-year videos and they've come down. I don't abuse the system. I already filed a counterclaim. Says don't upload other people's content. He said, you wish I would. You forced my hand by submitting that counterclaim to take legal action against you or let you just steal from me. You put my entire song in the beginning of your live, the entire thing, not fair use. You need to look into Warren Chappell Music, Inc. versus Neely so you can stop talking about 3 years. I'm good on discovery. Your video wasn't a content ID match back in October. I have a ton of content. People like you re-upload and put the whole song in a video that it doesn't catch, and then I have to do manual takedowns. I mean, this guy was a dick. I've already reported your abusive behavior. You wanted to go to court to reinstate a video that contained my entire song. We're going now. Do not respond. Of course, I responded. Oh. I don't know what happened to that thing. I don't know what happened to it, but he sent me the thing. There are no copyright strikes on your channel. Yeah, I don't know what happened to it, but he did send it to me. Yeah, but that's what this copyright court thing is. They make it very cheap. It's only like $300. That's it. Um, uh, the Copyright Claims Board, the CCB, that's what it is. I knew I had it somewhere. Yeah, it's the Copyright Office, but it's done through the Copyright Claims Board, which is the CCB, and they made it cheaper to take someone. They made it cheaper to take someone on a copyright strike. The CCB. So if anybody, hey Amanda, so if anybody has a copyright that they want to go after someone through YouTube or whatever, then you would use the CCB. That's what he used, the Copyright Claims Board. And it's much cheaper. And the U.S. Copyright Office made it much cheaper for anybody that, wanted to file that didn't have millions of dollars and didn't want to hire an attorney. And again, I've been on YouTube a long time. I just learned about this a year ago, not even a couple months ago, back when he had hit me. I'm like, what the fuck is a CCB? And then I learned. The CCB is a copyright-specific tribunal established by Congress under the Copyright Alternative and Small Claims Enforcement Case Act that hears copyright infringement cases for claims up to $30,000. In this Learning Engine video, learn more about the CCB structure, how the CCB works, and the safeguards against abusive practices. So that is the CCB. That's who you would use if you have a true copyright. But to file, it's $300. So if Brittney truly feels that she has copyright infringements, then use the CCB. And any lawyer worth a fuck would have told her that. Plain and simple. And honestly, I don't believe many people when I got a lawyer. I don't believe you. I just don't. Because any lawyer would look at the situation and be like, yeah, you got nothing. You have absolutely nothing. If you're lying about someone and you're going back and forth with someone, you got nothing. And I love defamation because monetary. And I'm going to prove it right now. Okay. In South Carolina, which is Brittney, defamation per se refers to false statements that are so inherently damaging to a person's reputation that the law presumes the statement caused harm. This means the plaintiff doesn't need to prove actual damages to win a case. The categories considered defamation per se in South Carolina include statements that accuse someone of a crime, impute a loathsome disease, like, you have herpes, suggest a lack of chastity in a female, or claim unfitness for business, profession, or office. Okay. So what they say is categories of statements: criminal activity, accusations of committing a crime. Now understand something too. They are not, I'm going to get to that second, Amber. When they say accusations of committing crime, they're not talking about me saying, Amber, you're a criminal. You committed a crime. They don't mean that. They mean that if I'm not even going to use any, I'm just going to make up a name. If I turned around and I said, Mikey Mike essayed and R'd his child, and he got fired from his job for that. He can't go around town because people are looking at him side-eyed. That's what they mean by criminal activity. Not, oh, Queen Bee beat up her kid. That's not defamation per se. That's, nobody outside of YouTube gives a fuck about what Queen Bee does. Nobody's side-eyeing her for anything that's said on YouTube. So that one doesn't fit. Loathsome disease, imputing the existence of a contagious or loathsome disease. Again, same rules apply. Mikey Mike has herpes and warts, genital warts. Mikey Mike goes to a dating agency and can't get a date. He goes to a bar, people looking at him all side-eyed. Not only did he essay his kid, he now has communicable diseases. Chastity, statements that impugn the chastity of a female. Mikey Mike's daughter falls into that category. Mikey Mike's daughter is a wonderful Christian female who is, being told that she was essayed. She is no longer a virgin, and she's only 10 years old. And now all the boys at school think she's not a virgin. And all the boys at school, trying to get with her. That's what they mean there. Professional fitness, claiming a person is unfit for their business, profession, or office. I'm not sure what that means. I kind of feel like, what are you saying? That a personal trainer is too fat to be a personal trainer? Not so sure about that. Distinction from defamation per se and defamation per quad. Defamation per quad requires the plaintiff to prove that the defamatory statement caused actual harm, while defamation per se presumes harm. So I guess I'm giving you more of per quad, but defamation per se, you have to perceive that it has harm. Going over Brittney's videos is not causing harm. Using Brittney's own words and giving an opinion and coming up with their own conclusion isn't hurting Brittney. That's not causing her reputation to falter. The way she responds is hurting her reputation. The way she comes at them is hurting her reputation. But them reviewing her lives, is not hurting her reputation. That's what she doesn't get. For a statement to be considered defamatory per se, its defamatory meaning must be apparent on its face. If the defamatory meaning is not clear without additional information, the statement is considered defamation per quad. Um, all right. Defamation per se and SC. If no harm was caused, yet the statement had the potential for extreme harm, the defamatory statement is considered defamation per se. They're just reviewing her stuff. That's not defamatory. So I don't know why people don't read into this more. Just my opinion. But yeah, Brittney, if you want to beat them at their own game, shut the fuck up. And I mean that. Just shut the fuck up. Don't allow them the power of you responding. Don't give them the power of you responding. Because that's exactly what the fuck they want. Jay? Who cares what Jay says? Like, who the fuck is Jay? And Clue thinks she's rich? Oh my god. Have you seen your toilet? Rich people don't have toilets like that. Sorry. But they all live in this fantasy world. And meanwhile, they're all fucking extremely insecure, or they wouldn't feel the need to talk about other people as much as they do. That's insecurity. And Brittney, you fell like putty in their hands. You allowed it to... You just allowed it. You allowed them to win. Take back your power. Take back your audience and take back your power. And when your mods try to come crawling back, just laugh in their fucking face. Just say, haha, I don't think so. So that's it. That's what I got for you guys. I didn't even get 100 thumb ups. Come on, guys. No members. What's up? What's up? You guys hate me. You saving all your money for Queen Bee. What about reviewing videos? And guys, that was a joke. What about reviewing videos of live streams and interpreting them purposely wrong? Maybe they're not interpreting them purposely wrong. Maybe that's just how their brains think. I mean, I agree with you, but I don't, I'll be honest, I don't watch any of them enough to know for sure. But I never watch Jay or Nonsense. I listen to QB sometimes, but that's it. So I don't know what else goes on. I do know Jay talks about her a lot, but she's constantly responding to Jay. And she's allowing them to make a shitload of money off her. That's one of the reasons that I stopped engaging. I'm like, look at these motherfuckers making more money off me than I'm making on me. Hell no. These motherfuckers ain't making more money off me than I am. So once the money stopped on my end, I shut the fuck up. These motherfuckers, no way. And that's what Brittney needs to do. Cut it at its fucking knees. Stop engaging with people that are making money on you. Don't allow them to make money on you. Fuck that. And that power is amazing. When you cut people off at the knees without even trying, because believe me, people will move on. They can say whatever the fuck they want about you. It don't fucking matter. But when you stop engaging, you'll be very surprised how quickly those money people also disappear. Because now they just look psycho. Right now, they don't look psycho to many people. But eventually, if you completely shut the fuck up, they're going to start to look psycho. Even people that don't like me think that some of my stalkers are fucking psycho. because they see me not engaging at all, and all they do is talk. So it makes, believe me, it makes a big difference. You'll see how people see it differently. But you don't have to listen to me. You can go on, continue to do what you're doing, but just remember the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result and never getting it. And that's where you're at. You're not going to get a different result. You're going to play the same game, and the only one that's going to lose, Brittney, is you. They're not going to lose. They're going to keep gaining subscribers. They're going to keep gaining people that don't like you. Don't let them. Beat them at their own fucking game. And beating them at their own game means shut the fuck up. Let them talk all they want. They are not worth the corn in your shit. And that's a fact. And I'm telling you this because I've lived it. I see people still mention me. I just fucking delete it. I don't look at it. I don't care what they got to say. I delete it. And believe me, I don't do it for them. I do it for me. And I pick my battles wisely. Every once in a while, I'll address a lie. But for the most part, nah, I don't. You want to lie about me? Lie. I don't care anymore. I've said my piece 1,000 times. Doesn't fucking matter. Those that are going to believe me, and those that don't. And they're never going to. Okay, then don't. By the way, while I think of it, does anyone remember a person that was really good friends with Jim Terry? Their name started with an S, and it wasn't Spudler. Does anyone remember? Which reminds me, Spudler made a community post I thought was excellent, which I'm going to go get. Hold on. You know, I'll do it this way. And when all else fails, just remember, your life could be as sad as fucking whiskey. Here it is. But does anyone know what I'm talking about? The name started with an S. No, not Salty. They were friends. It was a girl. I think she was even a Patreon at one point. But then she hated me. No, it wasn't Salty. But then she like fucking hated me. But I can't remember her name. But I know it started with an S. I thought it was Spudler. Nope, not Salty. Salty was a guy. This was a female who just loved Jim Terry. And then they had a falling out. But it was a female. I wonder whatever happened to Salty. Alright. So Spudler writes, no, not Mr. X. It was a female. And it started with an S. She was like right there for fucking Jim Terry. She probably did Jim Terry's dirty work with voices. But her name definitely started with an S. Alright, so Spudler writes, you may have noticed I am around less and less, and this is because every sub in the sector has a target on their backs and are being condemned for just being in someone's chat. No, not lips. Started with an S. The judgmentalism has become so bad that many of us are no longer engaging and just watching. Speaking for myself, I watch because I'm doing my own research and looking for the truth behind the lies. So although I cannot state any of this as a fact, as I have a life outside of YouTube, here is what I gather from what is going on. Creators is simply the talking head for all the subs and members' personal beefs and toxic fictions. Okay, that shouldn't be. But a creator does. Hey, Yarn, you're another one I was thinking about earlier. A creator, as I've said forever, a creator will only do what their subs want them to do. If Queen Bee decides that she's going to talk about Yarnfield, and none of her subs want to talk about Yarnfield, how long do you think that's going to last? That'll last 2 minutes, because she doesn't, why would she talk about Yarnfield? Her subs aren't interested. Queen Bee did not harm her child. We don't know that. I'm not saying she did or she didn't. I'm saying we don't know that. Nor is it any of our business. Let me just say that. Cluminati's are racist and proud of it. Everyone is looking for evidence of anything they can create hate for another. No, that's only Queen Bee's crew. When I say Queen Bee's crew, I mean Queen Bee, Granny, J is for Justice, Cluminati. That's what they do. That's who you run with. And nonsense. No one is able to have a balanced and fair discussion anymore. That's not true. Again, that goes with the people that you hang out with. We now have alternative facts. That's thanks to the people you hang out with. Most of what is said is pure fiction. Again, that's the crowd you go with. Davis fam did not wear a diaper, nor did headstones and headlines, nor did Sinner. Correct. The innocent families of creators and subs are being harmed just for YouTube content. Thanks to Queen Bee. Only the person who originally recorded the video of Brittney J's children redacted videos and not CSAM. Even the person that originally recorded it, it's still not CSAM. Brittney J is being bullied and is now the new BHB. Correct. There is no accountability anymore. Actually, there is, just not with your crowd. Recovering addicts are shamed and ridiculed. Again, thanks to your crowd. Everyone will eventually be called names, accused of all sorts of things, and are never true, and rumors and the stories created by troublemakers become fact in a nanosecond. Again, your crew. Everything that is normal has been weaponized. No one ever corrects their own mis- and disinformation and never apologize for anything. Actually, some of us do. All legal action for so-called bullying, harassment, etc. on the internet is frivolous, and all these legal cases end up in failure. Correct. Nonsense is a good person. That's debatable, but needs to go back to rectifying the lies of creators about the families of missing children. I had a lot of respect for her when her content was focused on doing so and protecting victims' families. Nonsense has never protected a victim's family. Cash is a good, kind, and caring person. I have no idea. I've never had interaction with him. Most creators are Karens, and some are here to find their people. Others are here just to Karen watch. Again, your crew. There are some truly great people in the community, but there are also those, to be honest, should not be allowed to interact with the public without supervision. 100% agree. Hopefully that clears a few things up for those who assume so much that is. Anyway, I'm off spending the day in the garden. Spudler is one of QB's people. So I agree when talking about Queen Bee and her and Clue and all of that. I agree with everything she's saying. Find better people to support. I mean, honestly, because the people that I watch on YouTube, almost none of these fall true. Literally, almost none of them. So, change who you support. And I've seen a lot of people say, oh, I support Queen Bee, I support Clue, I support Granny, but X, Y, and Z. Well, don't support them then. They're not the cool crowd. They're not the cool table. To me, they're a bunch of fucking lowlifes who can't stand on their own. Prove me otherwise. You can't. So, on that note, I am out of here. I've been on almost 2 hours. That's what I'm saying, Yarn. Brittney, I really hope you listen. I'm not saying this for any other reason than to help you. Been there, done that. So I hope everybody has a wonderful night. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Don't forget, order your candles, energycandles.com. I gotta go take care of my puppy doggy who hurts, who's in pain. Yarn, if you rewind to the beginning of the video, I bought my dress today for Sage's wedding. I showed it at the beginning of the video. So, with that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Peace out, bean sprouts.